Well, hello, race fans, and welcome to Today at the Races on this final Sunday of June 2019. I'm Tim Tulloch filling in for Stan Salter. I'm joined by Keith Fustel. And Keith, where did June go?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Just like that, we're into July 4th coming up on Thursday. Yeah, summer just going to fly right on by, as it always does.
It always does. The
Yeah.
weather gets good. The racing is great, and we had some good racing here yesterday at Laurel Park and elsewhere. Sheldon Russell had a big day. He won a couple, but he won this race on a filly named Carnival Colors, making her fourth start of her life, coming out of a Grade 2 in Canada last year when she was a 2-year-old, gets on the turf for the first time. And if we can pull up that video, if you would, fellas, on Carnival Colors through the stretch here yesterday, getting the turf for the first time, but boy, she looked like she loved it.
Absolutely. Just kind of a steady grinding run, got position early. It was similar to the run that she made on the synthetic up at Woodbine. Just a steady kind of run, kind of a feeling, might just kind of run to her competition. Really didn't overexert herself there, but did it in workmanlike fashion. We talked about her on the morning show. Second dam was multiple graded stakes winner on the turf going long. That might be her game. She'll just stay turf and synthetic for the connection.
Certainly looked like it. Michael Stidham trains Godolphin in here for the win. And speaking of Canada, north of the border yesterday, Wet Year Whistle, Mike Trombetta and Alex Cintron, some local favorites, took down the grade 1 $300,000 Highlander Stakes up there at Woodbine. We picked this one up at the top of the stretch as Wet Year Whistle turns for home out in the outside, but just keeps on grinding. Broker maiden here, won a recent allowance race here.
It broke a little bit slowly in this race, but Cintron poised, very relaxed on this horse, settled, covered up a little bit, then shifted out around the turn, unleashed a furious rally to win going away. Wet Your Whistle for David Palmer. David, I know David on the way back. He had a horse with cousin Joan Reynolds, flipped the switch. That was his best runner probably prior to this one. I think she made almost $200,000. She could sprint on the turf and the dirt. But man, congrats to the connection. Only a $17,000 purchase. That's what I like.
That's a big score.
Like
$180,000 US to win that race. To the connections of Wet Your Whistle. We have other action here today, and the biggest action is the Rainbow Pick 6, where we have a big carryover here, $25,897. Get started in race 4. I have a ticket. I think there might be some other tickets. You can check out all our tickets at laurel.com. Just click on the handicapping section. This week, we get started with 4-day-a-week racing, and it gets started on the 4th of July. No better way to kick off the 4th of July and kick off summer 4-day-a-week racing than right here at Laurel Park. And we're going to have some specials here at Laurel Park. Red, white, and the most important thing, the brews. $3 bottles, $2 drafts. Come out, spend the day with us. We'll have great racing here on Thursday, and we might even have a big carryover in the Pick 6.
Yeah.
As this is a little bit of a tricky card, as you mentioned earlier.
It is. It's not an easy card. The racing office, they've made it tough on us. Highly competitive races. Not any real races. You can just sink your teeth and say, all right, I'm going to single this one and feel ultra confident. I've got a single in the late pick 5 just to kind of keep that ticket affordable. But you're going to have to grind through these racing cards, but you can really be rewarded. You don't have to bet a ton, spread a little bit, and you may come up with a really good reward at the end of the rainbow. But it has been tough sledding. Yeah, we escaped with a big price on Friday. We're looking for some more of that today.
I'm sure it very well could happen. I think I've got a single on my Pick 6 also. But it was tough, and I really didn't want to. But, again, it was just a matter of finances that forced me into that position. Beautiful day here at Laurel Park. The conditions are fantastic. The track is fast. The turf course is firm. The humidity is broken here in the old line state for today. 86 and sunny, but not as humid, and a nice breeze blowing through here right now.
Yeah, we had a little rain kind of come through here later in the card yesterday, forced to race off the turf. But, hey, we're back fast and firm. Turf could handle a little bit of rain right now. Not going to hurt it at all. Gorgeous day. Get yourself out on the apron.
Absolutely. A perfect day for racing, and we might as well get this show started. This party started. Race 1, a maiden 25 going 3/4 of a mile on the main track. for maiden fillies and mares 3 and up, and as I mentioned, $25,000 claiming price. This kicks off the early pick 5. I have a ticket on the early pick 5, a $54 ticket.
Okay.
I go 3 deep here using the 2, 4, and 7 in the second. I use a 3, 4, 9. Third, spread a little bit in the third there, 2, 3, 6, 7. I single on in the fourth. On the 7, Nakamura for Grand Motion, and go 3 deep in the fifth.
Okay.
1, 6, 8, $54 ticket. Good luck if you play along in the early pick 5. Mandatory payout in that early pick 5. The late pick 5, has carryover potential,
It
but
has
no carryover
potential.
today
Right.
in the late pick 5. First race here at Laurel Park. It's 3/4 of a mile, as I mentioned. And Keith, you have the 2 Love and Respect on top. A first-time starter for Phil Schoenthal, who's come into this race working pretty well.
Yeah, this is one of these, a red flag certainly, an $85,000 purchase, a half to misbehavior, really quality crack sprinter in her own right. I think there's another couple winners in the family. Yet was entered, believe it or not, on Friday, I believe, on the turf for 40.
Right.
Now in for 25 on the dirt. Little cat and mouse game. Maybe she's got a race in her to get over the top in debut. I don't know what the future holds for the 2 Love and Respect. Like I say, a little red flag. I think the horse to beat is the 7. Stay out. We've got video
We do have video on the
of her
7.
debut
Stay
race back on June the 1st, where she was, bet down to 6-1, shorter field, but man, ran lights out, taking pressure every step of the way from crossing the valley. Actually clear here past the 3/16, but just going to give way grudgingly through the final 1/8 of a mile. But sharp debut. We talked about this filly. She got the work prior, came down to Laurel and got the work. It just bit off more than she could chew last time.
Yeah,
The much
exactly
tougher
right.
field and acted up a little bit before the race really wasn't focused. I guess my biggest concern is the 3rd race in a month.
Third race in a month, coming back pretty quick.
Yep.
June 1st, June 14th, and now June 30th. But yeah, too tough in her last race in that maiden 40, back to a favorable level, the same level she ran in that race that we just saw on June 1st. Back to the 2 Love and Respect. I always am concerned when I don't see a 5/8 mile work on a horse's work tab. I don't think you know a whole lot about a horse until they go 5/8. Just about anything go half and 48. And when they start posting those 102s, 103s, 5/8, then maybe they're not quite as good. So I always like to see those works going 5/8 a mile. But you always have to respect Schoenthal to some extent. So Keith, you're 2-7-4-3. I'm 4-7-5-2 in the opener here at Laurel Park. Second race, 5.5 furlong maiden event for $25,000 for 3-year-olds and up. And Keith, you have the 4 Zitarosa making her second start on the turf, second start of her career. The second race does kick off the Super High 5. No carryover, but Super High 5 available in every race with 7 or more runners. Zitarosa by Noble Mission, who was by Galileo out of a curling mare. Well, that's enough turf for me.
Yeah, I'm looking back on the breeding. Second dam graded stakes place on the turf. A 3-time winner on the grass. Made a lot of money, ran fast. But once again, maiden special weight right to the maiden 25. I guess the thing I can kind of give them a little free pass was a $2,000 purchase. So hey, you're going to go in for the 25. Took a lot of play in debut. Little green top of the stretch after slip breaking slow. A little bit of a middle move, lugging in. Run for the money, just ran off the screen that day for Engelhart. I think the switch to the turf is going to pick this horse's head up and has a target. Plenty of speed to the inside. Kukulkan, Willie the Whale, very fast. I think they hook up. And if they don't hook up, one of them could be gone. I expect with a clean break, a duel to develop. Looking for a closer. The 4 Zitarosa, the 8 on a rock. Going to go first time here for Proctor. First time Lasix on the turf out of those fairground sprint. I think this horse is sneaky, could close in. And Keneal Bay, Forest Boys.
Keneal Bay.
Perfect type of horse. Barn doesn't win a lot. Will settle in the clear, get the pace. Might come up a little short, but tough to leave out of the exactas and tries.
Absolutely. The 4 Zitarosa adding blinkers for the first time in a sharp work since then, clearly with blinkers on from the gate. 1 minute and 2/5 for Brittany Russell. The 3 Keneal Bay, my top pick. And she's got some tough, good races from last year against Tougher, running against a maiden 40. Gets Forest Boys back in today's second. So I like Keneal Bay. 4-8-3-9 for you, 3-6-1-9 for myself in the second. as we move to the third race, starter allowance, nickel starter allowance race going 3/4 of a mile on the main track for fillies and mares, 3 and up. And we're both on the same horse here, the two My Chessa Charm, who seems to be just in good form right now and has already won at the level.
Yeah, this race was tricky for me. Reign Supreme, I think, is going to take a lot of play. Lonely Drifter, Truly Hot. I thought My Chessa Charm might escape a little bit, but now, big scratch. The 5, Yes I Dance, is out. She looked like the main speed threat. Now I'm thinking Hugh McMahon's going to tell Sheldon, go ahead and kind of go like he did and try to walk the dog, on Jason Egan's horse yesterday. I think she can escape on the lead and can control it.
Yeah, and I think I regard Sheldon Russell as one of our best riders on the front end in the jocks room. And there's plenty of good ones, but I think he's very, very good on the front end. We saw it yesterday.
She's a chance, too. That was
she's
the
a
horse.
chance, too. What a beautiful ride that was. You like the 8, Reign Supreme. We have a stat on the 8 on Reign Supreme and Jonathan Maldonado.
Yeah, and she's kind of worked her well back right into top form. Consistent runs from just off the pace. I might like her. I think her run might be a little bit more effective at 5.5, but still, this stat's tough to kind of disregard. Last 3 years, Maldonado, 9 for 24. That's 38% with dirt sprints off of a top fig ROI, a positive one at 272. Reign Supreme holding form for Maldonado against Carlos Carrasco. Will make a run into it from mid-pack.
Absolutely. We both like the 7, Truly Hot for Mary Epler. Been freshened, a couple work since her last race, but her last couple races have been big efforts.
Yeah, I no problem with her form. Would like to see a little bit, maybe more flow to help set it up. She sometimes finds herself a little further back. She just makes a steady progression into it. If she gets a little help, she'll be right there. Consistent numbers at high 60s. That's what's going to take to win this race.
She's just sort of a grinder. She just kind of keeps coming. If she gets there, she gets there. But lately she's been getting very, very close. We're going to take a quick commercial break right now. But when we come back, we're going to talk some Rainbow Pick 6.
Join us for Jim McKay Maryland Million Day on Saturday, October 19th at Laurel Park. Come with friends and family to Maryland's Day at the Races, a celebration of Maryland's horses and lots of fun for all ages. Enjoy a full day of racing, including on-track entertainment between races. Don't miss the hat contest, 3 categories and wonderful prizes. It'll be fun for all at Laurel Park, Saturday, October 19th. For more information, visit MarylandMillion.com or LaurelPark.com.
Welcome back to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First, and now we're going to talk about the Rainbow Pick 6. Big carryover here today for the Rainbow Pick 6, $25,897. A tricky sequence, there's no question about that. I actually hit the all button in one of them, and I have a ticket. We'll take a look at my ticket real quick. Going strong or going home. First out of the backs. Here's my single right out of the box. Nakamura for Graham Motion has been in very, very good form, running big numbers and looks very, very tough in the 4th. In the 5th, I go 3 deep, 1, 6, 8. Spread a little bit in the 6th, 2, 6, 7, and 10. 7th race, 5, 8. The 8th race, I hit the all button. There's 5 entries in there. That's a very, very tough second level optional 35,000 allowance race. A very tough, very evenly matched race. I hit the all. And then 3, 8 in the finale. $48 ticket, very affordable ticket for the Rainbow Pick 6, big carryover of just shy of $26,000. Race 4, which gets the Rainbow Pick 6 kicked off, a first level allowance race for 3-year-olds and up, going a mile and 16th on the turf course with the rail setting of 52 feet. And Keith, both you and I do have my single, the 7, Nakamura for Graham Motion, picked on top in this event. We've got a stat on Nakamura and Graham Motion, and Motion's just very, very good with these types.
Yeah, look at this. Last 3 years, 10 for 22. 45% with favorites in turf routes at Laurel. He's going to be the favorite again. There's your ROI, a positive one of 226. Nakamura reported gelding last time when he got the win over State Bred Allowance Company with a rush. And that might set him up a little bit. You know, training the horses. This horse was a horse that was running a lot longer distances if you on the go back as a 3-year-old, a mile and a half, a mile and a 360. How tough is that to kind of get these horses now to revert back to that mile distance? He did it off the layoff, and I think it's going to set him up better now. Mile and 16th should be a little bit more to his liking.
It should be more to his liking. He'll stay a little bit closer than Evie did last time,
Yeah.
I would think, going the mile and 16th. But I like what Graham's done here. Ran a big race in his last start, gave him a little time, puts 4 works into him, and gives him a little freshening and gets him back here where he can probably run pretty well. Clearly, he runs pretty well off the layoff, coming off that layoff from November to this May with a big win.
And what I liked is he closed, super sharp run through the final eighth of a mile. Look at the internals. 24 and 349, not demanding at all. He was still able to overcome that. Well, look at today. Hard red candy. Blinkers go on. We know he wants to go up to the front. Royal Crusader, he's shown some speed running in the Vale. Yes, he likes to be up close, and we know about Bay Bridge. He's always a forward type. He's going to get a little bit better flow up front, which should enhance the run even more for Nakamura here. Second time gelding promotion.
Right, and
Trevor.
And Trevor, all of it. It's all going to work, I think, for Nakamura. But speaking of Bay Bridge, the 8, we do have a video. You have Bay Bridge on your ticket. I didn't use them as they go into the far turn. You can pick it up.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of this horse, and last time out they tried something a little different. They're going to take the blinkers off, and they took the blinkers off, and I tell you, he relaxed. I did not think he was going to run like this. He kind of took a stalking position, a prompting position, just to the outside of Day Strike, and these two, they're 4 or 5 clear of Air Bueno, and they're going to throw it down. You see the pace quicken into the far turn, but Bay Bridge, the jock, really cool as a cucumber right now. Lopez just kind of let him steadily get into his stride. He's been keyed up in some races in the past, Tim, and this little move here just kind of turned him into a different type of horse. Now, he's going to have to deal with some other speeds today in this race. We'll see if he can relax again and finish. Can he bring this finish again against this type of competition, maybe a little bit better group? That's the key for him. But he's run some big ones over this turf course.
He has, and I agree with you. I thought that was a really, really nice race from Bay Bridge. He is going to benefit from the outside draw today.
Yes.
Speed down toward the inside. So Antonio Lopez, who was just sitting cool, but it was amazing. That horse really, really did relax all the way down the backside and got a good finish there for the 8 Bay Bridge. You also have the 9 on your ticket on the outside, the old Beltway Bob. He's been knocking around, but he gets Forrest Boyce back aboard today, and I think that's key.
I'm going to need some things to maybe kind of set up on the front end. But Beltway Bob, the only thing I'm thinking, I got to think this morning, we had that rain late. The turf seemed to play a little bit slower the last couple of days. Maybe it's got just enough give, because this horse, when it's a yielding course, runs his best races. Back with Forrest Boyce again. I'll give him one shot. He's going to go away, I think anywhere from 12 to 20 to 1.
Oh,
he's a user underneath.
You're going to get a
I'm
price.
not saying he can win it, but I think he's going to definitely improve off the 58 last time.
Just a type, he's just a type of horse who just one day shows up, and he hasn't shown up yet this year, but he has a race every turf season that he just shows up, and it's certainly going to be his day. And I think you're absolutely right about the course taking a little bit more moisture yesterday. The 6 gearhead for Mike Trombetta and Julian Pimentel. Last 2 times this horse has run at the A other than level, been good efforts. 3 back April 28th here at Laurel, and his last start at Monmouth Park, where he just got beat 3/4 of the length, running the 2 best races of his life.
Yeah, no, that's a good effort. He's an improving type, a 3-year-old that's getting a little bit better. You always fear those types of horses. He's going to have to improve a little bit more. Chateau de Vizille, another one. I think he's going to lay in there at a square price. Didn't run too bad off the layoff. He's got room to improve a little bit. It's a tricky little race underneath the favorite. I mean, the favorite, he is the horse to beat. There's no doubt. There's a host of runners here. Very difficult to separate, and we're going to see that in another turf race coming up in race 6. Yeah. Another one that's really tough.
There's a couple tough ones. Race 6 is definitely very tough there. We move on to race 5. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5. Keith, you've got a ticket, and let's see how you played it.
Yeah. Stan said, hey, do a late pick 5 ticket. I said, yes, sir. I'll do one. Not terribly expensive, $36. A mile and a half on the turf for maidens. Going to get you started in race 5. I go with the keeper, Michael Dickinson, the 6 horse and the 7, Airlift. Reported first time gelding. Some changes there and some blinkers on. Here we go in the 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 10. Man, I'd like to hit the all button. If you have a friend, go ahead and do so. 7th race, 1, 2, and 5. Key scratch out of the 7th with the 3 bugle notes. 8th race. Here's my single. I know you went all in this race, right? Yeah. Threes over deuces is just in razor sharp form. He likes his track. He is turning back in distance, but just the sketchiest form a little bit on a couple of these horses. I think threes over deuces can kind of get the jump. He's gonna. I think you take the measure of Showalter and maybe get the jump on the closers, Charging Storm, Cerulean Springs, maybe Hall Pass there. We're gonna take a shot, single the 3, and in the 9th race, 3 and 4. Yes, I'm coming back with Love's Legend. Man, she
I thought
owes
that was
me.
strong.
She
I thought
owes
Love,
me
I
big
thought Love
time.
Legend, Love Legend was
$36.
strong. But yeah, look, I love threes over deuces in the 8th, and we'll get to that. But if he doesn't show up quite right, I think it's anybody's race.
Yeah,
And
no
the
doubt.
2 Cerulean Springs absolutely scares me. But we'll get back to the 8th race in a minute. Back here to race 5 again, kicks off the late pick 5, a mile and a half on the grass for maidens, and a scratch here, a big scratch with the 4, Bet the Pot, Jonathan Shepard.
Yeah.
You had the 6 on top, the keeper for Michael Dickinson originally. I actually had the 4 on top, but I end up with the 6, the keeper adding blinkers and coming out of a decent race. I guess it's just a question of who can go a mile and a half.
Right, and you've got some trainers in here. They're accustomed to getting horses to go a mile and a half. You're seeing Richard Valentine, obviously Shepard scratch, and Michael Dickinson, the keeper. This horse was cut out to be a good one. I thought he ran okay. I know the buyers weren't super strong at 2. I remember that debut run. Boy, he made a strong run late. The light bulb just didn't kick on. He's improved. He's gone synthetic, back to the turf. He's bred to stretch out and handle the distance. This is a horse is a half to Big Brown.
Yep.
Remember, a Big Brown. He's a fool to I'll never pronounce this right, Robin. Archegos. A 2 other type of runner for Dickinson. So the keeper, the blinkers go on, and riders type of race. When are you going to make that kind of right move to kind of maybe just open up and hold sway? I think he's the one to be clearly in race number 5.
And Alex Cintron coming off a big win up at Woodbine yesterday. But as you mentioned, guys and ladies who know how to get a horse ready to go long, the outside horse, Stormy Patriot, the 8, and the 1, Sir Smarty. I use the 1, Sir Smarty, coming out of those hurdle races, should have enough air underneath them. But I'm always suspect of those races because they're just high gallopers. They're barely 2-minute licks. And I do use the 1. Has a decent race going a mile and 16th a year ago, June, right here at Laurel Park. So I throw that one in. The 5, Wiseman for Milan Milosevic. Maybe looks like it's a little too long for the breeding, but you have to see how it goes. For Wiseman.
I think other than the 6, I think he should be pretty confident. It'll be 1-2. Where do you go from there? Maybe you just go ahead and play him top and bottom. Airlift, the 7 intrigues me. You got a trainer, right? Valentine, doesn't he deal with some jumpers and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
So you've got first-time gelding. You've got blinkers on. You've got first-time Lasix on the turf. Going to try the turf. Temple City, bottom side, Limehouse. I can see this as a wake-up kind of a horse in race number 5.
Well, certainly got to try something, beating off double digits in both of his previous 2 starts, taking on turf for the first time. He's going to get a long way to run on it, a long time to enjoy it, a mile and a half in race 5 today here at Laurel Park. Race 6, a tough first-level allowance condition on the grass. As you mentioned on your late pick 5, you went to what, 8 deep, 7 deep?
I went like at least 6.
The water's so deep you can't touch the bottom. Keith's ticket in the 6th. But look, you've got the 7 on top. I like the 7, Dashing Lou, Gary Capuano. Sneaky good with these type of horses. Second off a layoff, and he's coming off 3 big efforts.
Yeah, and I think he's a horse that's going to be able to work a trip with a rider that's very capable in grass. Jorge Ruiz. Dashing Lou faced the lone speed last time, made a move, couldn't quite do it. Time before that, Seeking the Sunset, a really good turf horse. He's run big, fast, strong numbers over this turf course. Dashing Lou, I think, is going to be able to draft, maybe get some cover, stalk the speed, and work out a trip and kind of grind it out late. Highly competitive. I see a blanket finish in race number 6. Certainly the horse to beat probably is the 2. Delacour back-to-back, went outside to inside, had a little trouble late. Is going to, I think another good trip is in store, stalking just off of it. We'll have to find room. But 7-2, 10, it comes back to the correct. 10 comes back to the correct condition, right? Was out of condition last time, and a 2 other than comes back to it. Handled a soft turf course over at Pimlico, yielding turf course, whatever you want to call it. This horse, my biggest concern, don't lose a ton of ground. You're drawing outside. Can he work out the right kind of trip to have that
Right,
finish?
exactly.
Here he is, over at Pimlico on May the 16th. Settled in mid-pack. Overcame a wide trip that day. You see the short comment, 3 wide turns, and was going away at the end over Let's Go Mick. Came back. There's Archegos at Delaware.
There he is.
Yeah, dropping back to the AL then is a must-use for a barn that's just absolutely rolling right now, Lynn Ashby.
Lynn Ashby and her main go-to guy, Jose Garcia, they win they win at 28%, but I like taxable goods. But if we could save some kind of ground, that certainly would help. The 2 back-to-back is my top pick. Coming into this race in really good form, a work sense. I like back-to-back. And, the 4, who is the 4? Convival, you've got on your ticket. And, these are dangerous connections. It's Fisher and Forrest Boyce. They'll hook up and they'll get you sometimes.
Yeah, this is a horse that showed enough talent. I know it's on the way back 2 years ago. Was able to win going long first time out, when going away with a big number. Okay, we haven't seen this horse. It's been off since October, but Jack Fisher's one of these guys. They get some of the cast-offs, they retool them, they work with them, they come back fresh. You've got the right kind of rider on this turf course, a dangerous kind of horse. It's going to slip away at a good price.
Yeah, absolutely will. Blinkers come off for this start. Forrest Boyce, Jack Fisher, the 4, Convival. Tough one.
Yeah.
Spread. If
you're
playing any of those races, the pick 6, the pick 5, spread in the 6, no question about it. 7th race, another first level allowance race, going 6.5 furlongs on the dirt, 3-year-olds and up. Another race that I think is pretty tough. The last few races are pretty tough. You have the 2 Sonic Boomy Jet on top. We have a video of the 2, his last start right here at Laurel Park, and you can pick it up right out of the gate.
Yeah, broke a little bit slow. You see him there, an awkward beginning, even a little bit of a steady. It concerns me a little bit. They tried him on the turf. He dropped well back, a slow start again. This is a horse that has shown speed in the past, positional speed. So if this is the habit he's gotten into, I am definitely concerned. And going to go up to about the 3/8 ball. We're going to go to the far turn. Even a steady right there into some traffic. Coming to the 3/8 is Great Herman. Is rolling along on the front end, finds some trouble there. Switches out, okay. Finishes up okay. Closes some ground through the final 3/16 of a mile. This is the race. That's right. Cerulean Springs is going to come way outside and nab dirty-foot at the wire. But Sonic Boomy Check going well. He has to break clearly. Not a ton of true speed in this race. If he comes away, it's a stalk and pounce kind of trip. I think he can handle the 6.5. They're going to have to catch the 1. Awesome foo for Tony Ferrier.
Yeah, and that's why I stayed away from Sonic Boomy Jet, because it's not just his last start. He's had a history in previous starts where he just simply doesn't get away. Okay. And, from training them, they get into that not getting away.
It's got to be frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and they'll get into that habit. And it looks like he's reverted over his last 2 starts to not getting away the best. And a couple of these races where he's bumped early, you get bumped early because you're not getting away. You're not holding any ground. You're not holding a ground, and they come all over you. The 1 Awesome Foo, some gas coming out of Churchill Downs for Anthony Ferrier. Unlike the horse he ran that he claimed from Churchill Downs yesterday, I can't remember the horse's name.
Yeah, the 2 horse.
The 2 horse didn't show any local works. This horse does show a local work, and I like that a little bit better. June 23rd, 48-2 right here at Laurel. But look, this horse has got some races on his form that are pretty darn good.
Oh, the 2-back try works. Open 16, that's as good as an A other than most
Absolutely.
of the time, right?
Absolutely.
You do that and went ahead and whistled. Bop the latch. We saw Englehart's horse yesterday. Just pop the latches and go. I think it's going to be the same type of trip here for Awesome Foo. Come away cleanly, comes back to a fast track this afternoon with connections that have gone to Churchill and brought horses here to win and run big and even improve. I fear Awesome Foo on the front end. And the 5, that would be grand.
That's my top pick.
He's, you're looking at he's the horse to beat, though, too. He comes away slow, but he's shown he can overcome his trouble.
Yeah, I mean that's a knock on that would be grand. He's my best bet of the day. I have him on top in this race, but the break is going to be everything for Dale Capuano, and that would be grand. Javion Toledo returns, but the break is everything, no matter how far you're going. It's just the most important aspect of the whole race. You get away cleanly, sets the tone for the whole race. And you're hoping for a good break for the 2, Sonic Booming
Need it.
Jet.
Yep.
And I'm hoping for a good break for the 5. That would be grand in today's 7th race here at Laurel Park. 8th race. Wow, what a tough heat this is. This down to a 5-horse field. Scratch the 1, Shane's Jewel. But I think any one of the remaining 5 could win this race. I hit the all button. You single. I know you single threes over deuces, and why not? I mean, the horse is in great form. We both have threes over deuces on top. 2 back ran a big race at Delaware Park, going 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, I mean, he's a versatile type of runner. Hasn't run this distance a lot, obviously, just 1 for 1 at the distance. I just think, looking at his form and looking at who he beat last time, a really key horse for me over the years is this 2 Cuban Brothers U, who's deadly, who's a really strong horse, Rigateri. Showalter looks like the horse to beat, the other Gary Capuano horse, because Shane's Jewel's out. Which Showalter's going to show up? If the really good one,
exactly.
If the good one shows up, he's on to the front, and he's going to be able to nurse and probably go away from this field. But I think 3's Overdose in such good form now. I think he can take the measure of his stablemate and kind of edge on by late. Shorter field, highly competitive field in the 8th. Certainly have no problem with what you just did, in your ticket and went and taken all. I just taken a really informed horse. The 4, Charges Storm, is a horse that kind of just doesn't get a ton of respect at the windows. If Shane's Jewel would have stayed in, I would have liked him a little bit more. Do we have video on him of recent?
We do have video on the 4 Charges Storm.
Yeah, going
June
back
9th,
to June the 9th. Look who he faces here. Whirlin' Curlin.
Oh, yeah.
Taco Supreme. Worked out another pretty good trip. Is going to be able to shift out about 4 wide through the stretch and just keeps on, closing up willingly. He's not quite as good. Whirlin' Curlin to his inside is going to get the better of him that afternoon. But look at the effort. Still trying hard all the way to the wire. Actually, a little bit of a steady right there off fields. Wanted to lay in just a touch. I like the versatility that he's shown. Now shortening up even further to the 6 for a long distance. But I think that scratch of the 1 hurt. It's going to hamper his run.
Yeah, it's going to hamper the 2 Cerulean Springs run also. But back to the 3s over deuces. His 2 best races of his career have been going 3/4 of a mile and 6.5. Those are his 2 best numbers, an 84 and an 83. Those are the best races he's run. So going 3/4 of a mile is not an issue for 3s over deuces. The 2 Cerulean Springs, well, no one's been a whole lot hotter than Marilyn McMullen during this summer meet, and she just won another one yesterday. And this horse will be coming late, as he always does, but has run some nice races going 3/4 of a mile. 9 starts going 3/4 of a mile, 2 starts, 4 wins, and 2 seconds. So 8 for 9, 1, 2, or 3, and shows a lifetime best 85 by her speed figure doing it. So that horse scares me a little bit. The whole field scared me. I push the all button in my rainbow pick 6 here in the 8th. A nice 2 other than allowance race for us on tap, a feature race of the day. The 8th, 9th race to finish up June. It will finish up the month of June right here at Laurel Park. A starter, 25,000 miles, 16th on the turf for fillies and mares. And you have the 4 on top. I like the 4 a little bit on the bottom of my ticket. Not as much as you like the 4, Love's Legend. We've got a video on Love's Legend right here from June 15th. Going into the far turn, you see her pretty far back.
Yeah, I like the 2 horses this afternoon and stuck down inside. And here was the key. I thought she just got too far back. I mean, just gets lost in the race. You're 10, 11 out of it after a half of a mile. And then you're going to have to work out a trip in a bigger field. You're down inside. You're a little bit stalled here past the 3/8 to the 5/16. Look at this. You have to wait. Things aren't happening. Now you finally get out. The problem is it's just too late. Gets out to about the 5 path, and I'm Listening and Moon Chant. They're going to go ahead and go on with their battle and take it on home. But I tell you, Love's Legends does finish up quite willingly through the stretch. She was running out of conditions last year in some races on the turf. Back to the correct condition, right? This is the 3 in life.
Yep.
I just want to see her closer. I'm not saying, 3 lengths out of it after. Give me 5 or 6 into the far turn, then let's work it from there. Hopefully she can get a clean trip.
Well,
today.
when you look at her best races on her form, she has been close. And
yes.
in a couple of these races, she's only been 2 and 3 out of it. So I agree with you. She was a little bit too far out, and you've got to be able to get out sooner than that. Gets Caramanos back today. Caramanos has ridden this 5-year-old mare to some success
Yes.
earlier in career. I've got the 3 Lunar Reel on top, and I get the apprehensiveness people have with Claudio on the turf, but I thought he claimed a good turf horse here, and I just think that's the case. He's got to get some good grass runners. This one's been in really, really good form since coming off that vacation since last October. Came back, ran a big second, got beat half length. That was the day that Claudio claimed her. He tried to sprint her, and she didn't run a bad race. Came back going long in her last, got the job done, ran a nice number, comes back at the same condition.
Yeah, that wasn't easy as the trips. Was out there pretty much every step of the way and just kept on coming and coming and coming and go up, get the lead late and go away by 2 and some change. Now, Moonchan is scratched. That kind of leaves Firth. Maybe it's a possible controlling speed. Carolina Ice has shown a little bit in the past. There's one other one in here that I thought could force the issue. Might be the horse to the outside. Yeah, the 9. That could press. I know one thing. The connections of Firth are glad that Moonchan is now out of this race.
Sure, I think there's a few people glad Moonchan is out of that out of this race, because I gave Moonchan a whole lot of shot in this race, the finale here at Laurel Park. A nice turf race to finish up the day here at Laurel Park. Remember, big carryover in today's Rainbow Pick 6, just shy of $26,000 gets kicked off in race 4 here today at Laurel Park. Nice card, tricky card. We've tried to do some of the homework for you. It's not an easy one. You got to get into it. So roll up your sleeves, get into it. That's going to do it for us. For Keith Fusel, I'm Tim Tulloch. Have a good day at the races.
Good luck.